Okay, so on the ice cream cone, I've made the edges darker, and then as I get towards the center, I'm not pressing as hard on my pencil, so it gets nice and light. And that's what I did on this row here. And then I press darker again. So what I'm wanting this to look like is maybe there's kind of central light that's kind of like a little flashlight is right here, which is to create depth, means that I'll have shadow kind of here and then here, like it wraps around. So this feels round. Okay, and then where I marked that things would be darker, this little shadow here, I'm gonna make that darker, and then kind of continue my idea here. And then this I'm gonna make like really light. Like, I don't know, I might not even really do much there because I am going to come back with my smudging tool. And I probably do kind of like to skip around a little bit, so I'll do the inside of the little diamonds. And then the original ice cream cone, I didn't really give you it doesn't have a bottom. So I'm just going to make this kind of rounded, like almost a U shape, or like almost circular. And then I'm just going to kind of gray up the cone like so lightly. And then I feel like maybe there's a little bit more pigment in here. So just like with the top, I'm feeling like I don't like the lines. So it's going to be more work, but I'm going to go ahead. I just don't really care for these lines right here. Yeah, see, I already like that better. So you're just going to continue working on this. And so rather than having lines, I'm going to come in with tiny little circle shapes as I shade. And I'm going to make this bottom section a little darker. So right in here will be darker because each of these little folds is like round. So it's like bloop, 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 like that. Oh, I should have got rid of this line too. I forgot. So as I'm shading this kind of more bottom section of the cone, I'm going kind of back and forth a little bit with my line, like a little bit more horizontal. I can do the same thing over here. And don't feel bad, like if you feel more comfortable, like if you need to turn your paper, I feel like this is really coming together. Okay, let's see what happens when we use our smudging tool. I'm being so gentle here because if I press down, it makes it probably a little darker than what I was wanting. Okay, I also don't like these lines right here. See the difference? So then you can just keep going. You can add more shading. You can then be very fancy and you can come back in and we can remove a little bit of color just in some specific spots where we really want to push things forward, like it's really popping off the page. And see, this is what I was talking about earlier. When you have a highlight next to a really dark area, like it's going to make this feel like the closest thing to you almost, you know, because it's like it'll really pop off the page. And then you can even go back and use that ebony pencil, or again 2B, 3B, HB, something a little bit more intense pigment than regular number 2. But it's like after you build in the mid-tone grays, you go back and you add some more drama. It's just so good. It just is. I mean, seriously, look at how cool is that? So probably one of the last things I'm going to show you, I'm just going to work a little bit more on trying to refine this kind of diamondy cone shape. So I'm going to build in a little bit of shadow up next to the highlight. I'm not going to color in the whole thing super dark. And the original image is really not a ton of detail. Like on this side, in the image, it's kind of blurred out a little, like out of focus is the word I'm looking for. And then I'm going to come back and remove just a hair of color. I'm not going to make like a giant bright like I don't want to make too much of like a line. I want it to feel natural, but I do want it to feel like there's texture here and kind of some bumpy steps. So just kind of gentle right in here, but maybe there's a little bit more shadow kind of in this area. You know, and maybe as you're working, you just kind of see something and you're like, that needs to be darker. Or like, I need to go back in and just erase a little bit more right in here maybe. I like it. I think it's fun. You could, if you wanted to, you could add kind of some sort of drop shadow. Like if this is this standing like upright on a table? You know, so maybe there's kind of some shadowy stuff in here. Or maybe you start to make the background kind of smoky and you fill that in if you get done early. Okay, so that is our ice cream cone.